some of the challenges that the Lakers were getting offensively for you guys in the first half? I think it's 74 at the break.
Well, they crushed us in the paint. It was, individual defense. It was cuts, right? They scored on a ton of cuts, and then it was their post-ups. And, in the second half, which I didn't really want to do, but it worked a lot better, we were just super aggressive, gambled more, double-teamed a lot more. And it worked, You don't want to be double-teaming those two guys. They've been doing it since they were rookies. They're great against it. But it got our aggressiveness up, and we guarded the ball better in the second half, too. We played a really good second half.
Second half, obviously, Miles and Brandon combined for about 75-ish points tonight. What did you think of their efforts there and kind of spearheading the...
Oh, they were both terrific. And, our defense, we held them to 50 in the second half, which is, against that team, that's very good. And we scored 60. So, both ends, and those guys were terrific.
We just talked about Brandon's game. It feels like each game he's growing more comfortable. He's not calling sets for him late in the game. Obviously, he's still a rookie, but what have you seen from him going from day one to now?
Well, I think the other one, he's playing great. And the other one tonight, remember now, the last time he got in foul trouble in the first half, he really struggled to get his body going in the second half. And tonight he was great. You could tell he learns, and that's not somebody talking to him or, what did you say to him? It's not that. He's just how he is. He figures stuff out. Like they're double teaming him, in all the pick and rolls now. So he's playing with a lot more activity off the ball to get space off the ball. And he just does things that you don't teach, but as much as anything, he's got size. And I think he's starting to show also, people don't realize, he's going to have a real playmaking aspect to his game, too, as he gets older. He can really pass. Right now we need him to score, and that's what he's doing.
In the final 5 minutes, your young stars, Brandon and Miles, were trading shots in moments with two future Hall of Famers on the other side, and the building had juice.
Mm.
Did that kind of conjure up memories of what it could be like?
Well, for sure. Look, I remember the last time the playoff games we had here with the Heat, where this building was alive. And I think, like I've always said, if we could get to be a playoff team consistently, this will be one of the toughest buildings to play in. For sure. I still go back to, I don't think about Game 6 that much because that was one of the worst nights of my life. But Games 3 and 4 here where, people still talk about the energy in the building, the intensity of the fans. I was also, my first year in the NBA, these guys swept, that was in the old building, they swept Miami. And I was with the Knicks then, and the fans were great then. So the fans here are great. We just got to be able to, again, we have to build a team that can get there consistently. And obviously those two guys played great tonight. Our defense was better. We just have, like the biggest problem in the last minutes where we had no timeouts. And the reason we didn't have timeouts in the second quarter, the same thing is we take a couple bad shots, we don't run back on defense. So, again, I've been trying not to use them, but then you're down 28. And tonight by using them, then they're good and they gather themselves. But in the end, that was the biggest part of the game. Because if we had our normal timeouts right there, it's a totally, totally different situation,
So yesterday you talked about how you don't really see a reason to throw in young players in meaningless games. But in games like this, with the competitiveness and the...
Oh, it's a great learning experience, 100%. This game tonight was totally different than the game that we played last night, to me. Just different, And Indiana's a terrific team too, but there was just, they didn't play Halliburton the whole fourth quarter. It was totally different. So that's what I'm talking about this is a game that, we're going to back-to-back, we'll take tomorrow off, but before we do anything with Toronto Wednesday, this is film and, that they can learn from. So that's why it's important that you continue to try to win, to me, just my opinion. And I would try, find me a team. You know, people love to say the rebuilds, right? Go back through the years and see how many times it's really worked. You know, and it takes a long time, and you got to get lucky and all that. But I know one part that doesn't work is if you take winning out of the equation, because once you lose that, it's over. It's the biggest part of this. The guys, they have to learn how to play to win.
You mentioned before how you think the team has good effort, you have the right guys in the building. Can you just talk about that, especially in games like this where everyone's trying to win and make the right plays?
Yeah. Well, tonight we scored better, but our defense was better. We just, we I won't tell you, but one of the more veteran guys was in the office today, and we had a great talk, and he gave me a couple, but he said, you always talk about the details, and you can't give away possessions, and that's our biggest problem. Yeah, it is. And, nothing for nothing. There's no other level of basketball. I mean, I'm talking about younger. Like, if you look at the stats that matter in our league to win, it's a league of execution. Like college basketball, one of the biggest things most years is offensive rebounding points, steals. Well, those things are not usually even a big deal in our league. They're becoming more so now. But for the most part, it's what you can do in the half court, with the game on the line. Different now because we're playing more by the numbers, right? The first 8 seconds. But it's still not because of the coaches at all, because of the age and the IQ of the players, because they're older, you can't mess things up. So, I mean, I would just say this, do you know how many guys there are in our league that can average 15 or 16 and they're no good? Their team never wins when they're out there. And because they score 15 or 16, they stick around for 5 or 6 years, and then people say, wow, look, he must screw everything up because everywhere he goes when he's on the floor, they lose. It happens all the time. And that's why them learning at a young age that the coverage is the coverage. The set is the set. The after timeout play is the after timeout play. Knowing what a great shot is everything in this league. Being able to play with both intensity and technique for 48 minutes is everything. And that is what I want this group to get out of this. I want to win some games too. I mean, it sucks to lose, okay? And it sucks for them too. But we're going to work, okay? We're going to prepare to win every night. And my expectations of them, and they know this, is that we're in every game because we're good enough to do that. And then if we do that and we get better and we stop or we get better with the details, like tonight again, when we got down 21, it's all mistakes. It's mistakes. And they're going to score anyway, those two guys, but you can't give them layups after baskets, and you can't give them cuts when the ball's in the post. Those are all mistakes.